I was born in New York in 1904. The optimist thinks this is the best of all possible worlds. The pessimist fears it is true. My childhood did not prepare me for the fact that the world is full of cruel and bitter things. The peoples of this world must unite or they will perish. I need physics more than friends. In the material sciences, these are and have been and are most surely likely to continue to be heroic days. No man should escape our universities without knowing how little he knows. To recruit staff, I traveled all over the country, talking with people who had been working on one or another aspect of the atomic energy enterprise, and people in radar work, for example, and underwater sound, telling them about the job, the place that we are going to, and enlisting their enthusiasm. I had had a continuing smoldering fury about the treatment of Jews in Germany. The atomic bomb made the prospect of future war unendurable. It has led us up those last few steps to the mountain pass. And beyond there is a different country. Both the man of science and the man of action live always at the edge of mystery, surrounded by it. In some sort of crude sense, which no vulgarity, no humor, no overstatement can quite extinguish, the physicists have known sin, and this is a knowledge which they cannot lose. Science is not everything, but science is very beautiful. To try to become happy is to try to build a machine with no other specifications than it shall run noiselessly. Access to the Vedas is the greatest privilege this century may claim over all previous centuries. Scientists are not delinquents. Our work has changed the conditions in which men live, but the use made of these changes is the problem of governments, not of scientists. I never accepted communist dogma or theory. In battle, in forest, at the precipice in the mountains, on the dark great sea, in the midst of javelins and arrows, in sleep, in confusion, in the depths of shame, the good deeds a man has done before defend him. If the radiance of 1,000 suns were to burst at once into the sky, that would be like the splendor of the Mighty One. I become death, the shatterer of the world. It is a profound and necessary truth that the deep things in science are not found because they are useful. They are found because it was possible to find them. Any man whose errors take 10 years to correct is quite a man. When we deny the evil within ourselves, we dehumanize ourselves, and we deprive ourselves not only of our own destiny, but of any possibility of dealing with the evil of others. To the confusion of our enemies, it is perfectly obvious that the whole world is going to hell. The only possible chance that it might not is that we do not attempt to prevent it from doing so. Knowledge cannot be pursued without morality.
Mr. President, I have blood on my hands.
Being wealthy might seem to be supremely enviable, but the business of wealth getting and of wealth enjoyment, when viewed at close range, turns out to be a very different matter. When you see something technically sweet, you go ahead and do it, and you argue about what to do about it only after you have achieved success. It was a heroic time. It was not the doing of any one man. It involved the collaboration of scores of scientists from many different lands. But from the first to last, the deeply creative, subtle, and critical spirit of Niels Bohr guided, restrained, deepened, and finally transmuted the enterprise. There must be no barriers to freedom of inquiry. There is no place for dogma in science. The scientist is free and must be free to ask any question, to doubt any assertion, to seek any evidence, to correct any errors. Our political life is also predicated on openness. We know that the only way to avoid error is to detect it, and that the only way to detect it is to be free to inquire. And we know that as long as men are free to ask what they must, free to say what they think, free to think what they will, freedom can never be lost, and science can never regress. Bertrand Russell had given a talk on the then new quantum mechanics, of whose wonders he was most appreciative. He spoke hard and earnestly in the new lecture hall. And when he was done, Professor Whitehead, who presided, thanked him for his efforts, and not least for leaving the vast darkness of the subject unobscured.
Mr. President, I have blood on my hands.